Do you love football but hate that there are a bunch of sissy little boys playing in the league today? Do you love basketball but hate that there are so many women playing the sport today? Well, if that's you, boy, do I think you need therapy. But in case you don't want to go to therapy, I found an Instagram page that you might find right up your alley. It's called Outkick the Coverage, and I found it when I was scrolling through my Explore page and I saw this video come up.
When and where is it acceptable for a man to cry? Because from what I understood, grown men had some pride and dignity.
Pride and dignity? Me? Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
Right? So tell me why USC quarterback and Heisman winner Caleb Williams felt compelled to run to his mommy in the stands and bawl his eyes out. This lasted for at least a full minute. And then it gets even better because RG3 had the audacity to tweet out this. Any NFL team would be lucky to have him as their quarterback, and this emotion shows how much this game means to him.
Now, okay, not only is this like top-notch reporting, just super professional, unbiased, literally just telling someone, like, you're saying, oh, Caleb Williams, future number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft, lost a game that he's super passionate about, and now he's going to cry to his mommy. This is your official report, is that he went to cry to his mommy. This is your journalistic take on the situation. Get some help, I think, is what I would say, first of all. But then second of all, she brings up this tweet by RG3, and I think it's totally valid. I mean, he says, any NFL team would be lucky to have him as their quarterback, and the emotion shows how much this game means to him. I mean, how many times have we seen guys go to the NFL, and they play really well in college, sure, but, I mean, like Baker Mayfield, Jamarcus Russell, those guys went first overall in their drafts, and what did they do when they got there? They partied, they didn't study their plays, they didn't watch film, and they flamed out. And it's because they didn't love the game as much as they loved the things around it, you know? And I think Caleb Williams losing this game in college, that at the end of the day doesn't matter. Like, he's already so far ahead as the number 1 overall pick. He's not going to get dropped down draft boards because he's losing these games, as long as he continues to play as well as he is. Like, it's not his fault that USC gives up 47 points a game, you know? But he's still out there. He wants to win because he's just a competitor. He just loves the game. And now that's a bad thing that you're like, I don't know. I think he shouldn't be crying to his mommy. You know, I think that RG3 is completely valid, but I want to see what she has to say about it because I'm sure she won't agree with me on that.
I totally disagree with this. An NFL team needs a leader. It's not running to his mommy, bawling his eyes out, and creating a spectacle for the cameras.
Nice. Okay, so I was right. She 100% disagrees with this for the reason that an NFL team needs a leader. I don't know about you, but I feel much more valued in a team where the leader of that team can turn it off for a second, isn't so angry whenever things go wrong, has a passion for whatever we're doing, and is able to emotionally express themselves as well as understand whoever else is on the team with them. So I don't think that this is just something that's automatically means, oh, if you cry one time, you're not a leader. Like, what? What do you want them to do? Do you want them to never show emotion unless it's anger, because that's the only emotion that men are allowed to express, I guess? If he's laughing after the game, oh, Caleb Williams, he doesn't care about winning. He doesn't want it bad enough. If he's crying after the game, oh, he's a crybaby. That's all he does is cry. I can't believe he's not a leader. No leader would ever cry after a game. I guess what you want is for him to be angry and throw stuff and smash things on the sideline. I suppose that's an acceptable reaction. But even then, you know, he's going to get comments about that after the fact. So there really is not a winning situation here. I think that you're just more upset that he's crying to his mommy more specifically, which is just ridiculous. Like, why are we making fun of him for going and seeking comfort from his mom whenever he's dealing with something that he's really passionate about and has fallen short in? I don't understand that. And also, for the cameras, did he, like, his mom is literally covering his face with a paper to try and shield him in this moment. It's not his fault that he is, again, the future number 1 overall draft pick in the NFL, that the cameras will follow him wherever he goes, and he can't even have a moment alone with his mom without the cameras being on him, and people like you telling him, oh, he's a crybaby, he's going to cry to his mom because he lost the game. Whatever, man. Get over it. Go to therapy.
Oh, and then after the game, in the post-game presser, Williams said that,
I want to go home and cuddle with my dog and watch some shows.
what's with men these days? How is this deemed acceptable in their minds?
He said, Caleb Williams after the game says, I just kind of want to go home and, you know, just chill out.
What's with men these days?
Where have all the good men gone? Like, we used to fight wars in this country. We used to make things in America. Why did I get cheated on last time I was in a relationship? Like, relax. I just love the where have all the men gone thing because it's so stupid to me that you were just like, this guy's crying a little bit. Clearly he can't be a man. What happened to the men who would yell and scream and hit their whole family because they didn't know how to understand their own emotions and they were scared to cry in front of them? That's the days I want to get back to. I want to go back to then, whenever men were super hyper aggressive for no reason and just didn't know how to be sad because the only emotion they were allowed to feel was anger.
Caleb Williams, he's soft, he's a crybaby, and I implore any NFL scouts to keep this pathetic scene in mind when concocting their idea of what a leader on an NFL team looks like.
So what she's saying here is, instead of looking at all of the stats, the crazy arm talent, the mobility in the pocket, the ability to create out of nothing, maybe think about the time he cried that one time after he lost a game and don't draft him. That's what I would say. I would say don't draft him. Don't do it. You can't be a crybaby and win a football game. You can't do that. You cry at all, you get emotional about the game, you're a crybaby. You're a loser. And frankly, you shouldn't be allowed to be in the NFL. I'm sorry. If you're the GM picking at first overall and you pick somebody other than Caleb Williams and you turn around and you look at your ownership and you go, well, look, I know that everybody wanted to take Caleb Williams at 1. I know that everybody wanted to take him at 1. And it was the easiest pick, and we need a quarterback, and he's the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. But have you considered that he cried that one time? I just think we're forgetting about that. I think we're overlooking that, you know? What? Oh, I'm fired? Okay, well, fair enough. Oh well. But I saw this video, thought it's very ridiculous, but I'd never heard of this Outkick the Coverage Instagram page before, so I went and checked out their page. And what do you know? Their bio says that they do sports and entertainment in our way. And then there's a US flag emoji on there as well, just for good measure. Just in case you don't know what in our way means, they make it clear for you with the American flag there. So a strange place to be sure, but let's take a look at what else they have on their Instagram. Something I'll note is that for a sports page, they sure do have a lot of things that don't have to do with sports on here. A Joe Manchin retirement and GOP debate reaction. Not sure what that has to do with sports. Here's one that I really thought was very funny. The value of a college degree is rightfully diminishing. Wow, just spot on. Fantastic journalism. No bias in the headline. Purely written from an objective standpoint. You are just like blowing it out of the water. The Pulitzer Prize should be yours. Here's another great one. Las Vegas strip club offering free lap dances for military members on Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. That's all I can say about that one. So yeah, this is obviously, we all know what this page is. This is a right-wing spinoff of something like House of Highlights or anything like that, wherein they feel like their point of view is not being represented in mainstream sports media, and so they have created their own separate account. And so now they say they're free to talk about what they really want to talk about, what they feel like is their own way of reporting on sports. These are also the same people who would tell people that the NFL needs to keep politics out of sports, or I can't believe that the sports are getting so political. Why can't we what does this have to do with sports? Why are we talking about this? This is where I go to forget about politics. This is where I go to forget about what else is happening in the world. And then, you turn around and actually it turns out they're just not talking about politics the way that you want them to talk about it. They're talking about things like social justice and change for better, and you don't want to talk about that. You want to talk about how diversity is ruining sports, or how the WNBA is stupid because there's women playing basketball. Yeah, it's just like, relax, man. You can just say that you don't like those things, and you can have an account like this, but I'm gonna make fun of it because it's really stupid. Like, what is this? This says, Disney goers are taking dumps while waiting in lines for rides. Report. Now, you see that and you think, that's pretty crazy. I wonder what source they have. According to Disney observers on Reddit, certified Reddit moment right here, such circumstances are on the verge of becoming rather normal behavior for parents who refuse to take their kids to a restroom to use the bathroom. I'm in the queue for whatever stupid ride, I don't know. Someone let their kid take a dump on the floor, then they just walked out and left it. WTF, a Redditor wrote this fall after witnessing such pig behavior. First of all, amazing, amazing reporting, again, after witnessing such pig behavior. Second of all, have you verified this in any way? This is just a Reddit comment that you read, and you're like, there's good old woke Disney again, just letting people just poop on their rides, and they don't even care. It all smells like woke crap anyway. Honestly, I think you should probably delete your account. We have other classic things that are directly related to sports, like did U.S. taxpayers fund Hamas? Awesome, super relevant to the world of sports. That's great. That's stellar reporting, super on topic, super on brand. You're doing great. But here's a video I saw that really, really just like drives home just the small-mindedness of people like this and this program in general. Just the general aura of this page that made me really want to make a video about it. Like, this is maybe the sparkling example of echo chambers making you feel like you're the smartest person on the planet. And so I feel like we just really need to talk about it.
For those of you who haven't been paying attention, a WNBA player called me a dumbass, member of the Las Vegas Aces, because I said that I believed that if the WNBA team played against a state champion basketball boys team, high school, that the boys team would win.
So Clay Travis here is talking about Chelsea Gray, who rightfully called him a dumbass for unprompted saying that a boys high school basketball team could beat the Las Vegas Aces, who are the WNBA champions this year, for no reason. You know, he didn't have to say this. Nobody provoked him. Nobody knows who he is. There's no reason to go out and lash out at players just to try and get a reaction. And so, yeah, he is a dumbass, and they were right to call him that. But he takes offense with that and tries to take it a step further. Not because he was anyway in the right by doing this, but because he wants attention, you know? Would a high school boys team beat the Las Vegas Aces? No, I don't think so. I think these are women at the top of their game. I think they play professionally, and I think that they would be able to beat them.
Girl on the team called me a dumbass. I said, okay, you think I'm a dumbass. I'll put my money where my mouth is. WNBA, this will be the most watched WNBA game ever. I will give you $1 million if you can beat the boys' high school state champion team that I pick.
So, again, for no reason, says that this game, this hypothetical game that he wants to set up, which secretly he's hoping and praying never happens, because then he'd have to, 1, pay $1 million that he was never going to pay out, and 2, have to see what might actually happen on the court, which I think would leave him pretty embarrassed. But he says that if the WNBA, for whatever reason, were to agree to this game, he would pay them $1 million if they beat the boys team, the high school boys team that he selected. And not only that, but he says that this would be the most watched WNBA game of all time. And I hate to break it to you, Clay, but you only have 100,000 followers on Instagram. So I don't think that you're going to draw more attention to the WNBA than you are to yourself by making these claims online. And that's why you're doing this, is for attention. Also, he calls Chelsea Gray a girl, which just makes me want to throw up in my mouth. Like, what is wrong with you? But here's the main problem with this video, is that across the screen in big letters, it says, what does the WNBA have to lose? He says right here, oh, well, you say you need more money. You say you're always saying you need more money. You have to go play overseas. I don't know what to tell you, but these WNBA players are not asking for unreasonable things. They're just asking for the same percentage of revenue sharing that the men in the NBA get.
On the flip side, if my team wins, I will take your $1 million and I will give it to the boys. I'm not even profiting off of this bet. We requested comment from the WNBA and the Las Vegas Aces. Women in the WNBA, they're always saying they need to make more money. That's why they said Brittany Griner had to go to Russia. I said, okay, here's $1 million for you. More than basically the whole team makes in a year to play and win one game. No response from the Aces or the player who called me a dumbass or the entire WNBA.
He says, I'm not even profiting off of this bet. And let me tell you, the clout that you're getting online, the fact that Chelsea Gray called you a dumbass, is more internet points, more credibility than you could have ever asked for based on the rest of your reporting on this page. Your existence is just to piss people off. That's the entirety of your journalism. There's no integrity here. There's no substance, no value to the things you're reporting. You're just here to take shots at people like Chelsea Gray and the WNBA champion Las Vegas Aces, so that you can get a couple people who also hate women, also hate women's basketball, to come over to your page and say, hey, this guy also hates the thing that I hate. I'm going to give him a follow. And then there, you've done your job. You've gotten your credit. You've given people a chance to dunk on women's basketball on Twitter. And you get to feel good about yourself because you feel like you win, because they don't respond to you. Because why would they respond to you? But Clay Travis can say these types of things, that a high school boys team would beat a women's national championship team, because He knows that game is never going to happen. He knows that he never has to back that up. He never has to prove it. He can just say that, and people who agree with him generally that men are better than women in every way will just eat that up. They just love when people say that. They just love whenever they get a chance to say, yeah, women are kind of stupid and I don't really like them that much, so they should probably have less than me. But he knows he's never going to have to back that up because it's not going to happen. Because you're right. Not only does the NBA have nothing to lose here, but they have nothing to gain by stooping to your level.
Zero risk now. They get to play a no-risk game against a boys' high school state champion of my choice, and they would make $1 million if they won that game. They still aren't willing to do it.
Now, you know that that's what's going to happen. This is the whole reason you do this, because you know that you can just say whatever you want online. This is your whole MO, is to just try and piss people off as much as possible. And then you know that institutions that have credibility and class and status are not going to stoop to your level and respond in any type of way.
Just got to tell you, you claim that you need to make more money and that you're not respected enough and that people don't value your labor enough, and I offer $1 million of my own money in a bet. Now, the $1 million, they don't even have to put forward, and they won't do it. Just pointing it out. Cowardice. Cowardice is what it is.
Just pointing it out. This is an own, and the WNBA is garbage. No, dude. You know exactly what you're doing. And this is what pisses me off so much. Is his smug face as he does the stupidest thing you could ever imagine. And just says like, yeah, that's what I thought. You're not going to answer me. It's not because I'm literally worth nothing to you, and this game would only benefit me, and it wouldn't benefit you at all. It's because you're scared, and because you're a bunch of losers and you're actually not good at basketball and you're scared you're going to lose. They don't have anything to gain by talking to you. Your title here is, what does the NBA have to lose? I don't know. What does the NBA have to gain from this? You might say, oh, well, guess what? I'm not profiting at all from this. You are, first of all. Second of all, they go out and play that game. They'll probably win. But any given day, who knows what happens, What if they lose? They have nothing to gain from that. If they win, you'll just say, oh, congrats, you beat a high school team. That's really impressive, but I'm going to move the goalposts a little bit more so I don't have to give you any credit. And you're probably not going to pay them again, like I said. And if they lose, you're going to use that to invalidate the entirety of women's basketball, even if it was just a freak accident that happened on that court. So why would they answer you? Ooh, it just makes me so mad whenever people like this get online, say stupid stuff, know that nobody in a position of power in the WNBA is going to take them seriously, and then they just walk away and say, well, yeah, that's what I thought. No response? Dang. Guess you really are stupid and ugly and you can't play basketball. It's like, come on, man. I get it. Like, I know that this is what right-wing journalism calls for, is just, like, you just have to say inflammatory stuff to the point where, like, no one is going to take you seriously and no one in a position of power is going to respond to you. And then you just take that as a W and everybody in your comment section goes crazy and they, oh my gosh, they're scared of you. Can't believe it. I also hate women. I love that you hate women too. I get it. I get that's the job. And unless this is the dumbest person on the planet, which very well might be the case, he knows exactly that this is what his job is now. This is what his role is on the internet, is just to try and piss people off. I don't know, man. This is your time on Earth. Is this what you want to use it for? People on the Las Vegas Aces, they don't have time to worry about people not respecting them so blatantly and publicly. It's not the win that you think it is. They may not have time to do it, but I do, because you're pissing me off and you're annoying. The people who would get mad, go out of their way to say stuff like this online, who would go out of their way to build a whole sports account off of this type of anger and hatred, I would just genuinely ask you to reconsider and just think about your priorities in life. Just think about what you're doing. Think about why you're doing what you're doing. Think about if it's worth it for you to just get behind this microphone every day and say, I think I'm going to try and make baseless claims against the WNBA today because I feel like they haven't suffered enough recently, And if you ever stumble across these pages, if you're a younger guy out there who thinks that this is the way that, that sports should be, or this is the way that you should treat women in sports, and that women in sports is a bad thing for the game, I think that genuinely just take a minute, just consider what that means, not just for women, but for yourself. And think about it, that's the person you want to be your whole life. Because I guarantee you, You don't get to be on SportsCenter. You don't get to be on ESPN with that kind of attitude. You end up right here like Clay Travis on your own Outkick the Coverage podcast, talking to a bunch of people who feel, look, act exactly like you, because that's the only person who's going to receive your message positively. Don't let it wrap up your life and consume you with this hatred that they have for women. It's not worth it, and it's just not founded in anything factual or worth your time. So again, just please hear that. Please understand, it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to act like this. Women succeeding doesn't take anything away from you. I promise you it doesn't. So just consider that. If you're a young woman who sees something like this, don't be discouraged. You're making the sport better. I believe that genuinely. So just stick with it. Don't be discouraged by the boys in your class that tell you you can't do what you want to do. Just work hard, train well, take care of your body, do what you got to do. Whether you want to play professionally, recreationally, you have a place wherever you want. So that's what I'll leave you with today. I think that this account is bad. I think that these people are annoying. I think that they're all a little bit too smart to be making the comments that they're making, because they're grown adults. There's no excuse. They're not ignorant to what they're doing. I think they know full well that this is just an inflammatory page meant to get clicks from people who are just angry and sad and bitter about the way that things are going in the world, and they just want an outlet to be frustrated and hate on things that they don't understand. So I don't know. That just makes me really sad. But if I can change somebody's mind who saw this video and see this for what it really is, just a hateful, sad, bitter man who just wants to get a rise out of an organization that's miles above him in terms of credibility, then maybe it's worth subjecting myself to watching these videos. Yeah, my name has been Aaron Trevino. Thank you guys for watching. If you don't mind liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, let me know what you think about this page. Let me know if these things drove you up the wall like they did for me. Or if, something I said in this video maybe changed your mind a little bit about the WNBA or women's sports in general, or just the general attitude of this page and the way that some people might view the sporting world today. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Follow me on Instagram at Aaron C. Trevino, and I will see you guys next Monday. Before I get out of here, I'll give you the good guy and the bad guy of the week. The good guy of the week is Aja Wilson, and the bad guy of the week is Clay Travis, as always. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next Monday.